Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Community Connection in the Lehigh Valley. I'm Vicki Alorcia Casella, one of your hosts. I'm here with Mark Kenny, my co-host. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing well again today, Vicki, and yourself?
I'm doing all right, one day at a time.
There you
We're
go.
very excited to have our guest here, Carolyn Serva from Family Connection of Easton. School is right around the corner with reopening, and we feel like now is the perfect time to inform our community of what services are out there for them as school is heading back into session. So Carolyn, please inform our viewers of who you are and what your role is with the organization.
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Carolyn Serva, and I'm the Executive Director of Family Connection of Easton. And Family Connection is the nonprofit family center within the Easton area school district. So it's a nice model where we're not school district employees, but we are school-based, and we offer all the support programs for teachers and administrators outside of the classroom to make sure that kids are doing their best and as healthy as can be, and have a good start to their school career.
Wonderful. Perfect. Well, you already answered my second question, so thank you. You're on the ball today. Mark, do you want to slide in there with the next question?
Sure. So Carolyn, then what are the services that you provide as a school-based program outside of the classroom?
We're pretty comprehensive, actually. We started in 1998 just by doing some case management work in the community. We were started by a small grant from United Way, and over the couple years that we were around, we started getting connected to the school district, and then became a school district-based agency. So the case management is still one of our largest pieces. We get referrals from administrators, from teachers, from guidance counselors, anyone, to work with a family in need. And that could be, anything from they're new to Easton and they just want to learn about our area, through, homelessness and involvement with the county system. So it really runs the gamut of what they will assist. Our case managers also do parenting groups, support groups. We do health and wellness programming throughout the district, and we do basic needs support. Basic needs support is a big one. We have 4 pantries within the school district that are at different schools that parents or children can access at any time to bring home food or toiletry items. So that's one of our main areas. In addition to the case management, we also do after school programming at select schools. We do early education work. We have 2 initiatives. One is about transition, so working with the local preschools to help transition those children into kindergarten and create programs for those children and families, and as well as educator professional development. And then we do a program called Parent Child Plus, which is having home visitors go into homes with children between the ages of about 2 and 4, and working with them, bringing them educational materials, books, lesson plans that they can then use at home when we're gone to help really those parents understand their role as their child's first teacher and feel more comfortable in that role.
Mm-hmm. And so you're talking preschool all the way through the school system, all the way up through 12?
Yep, we will help any family that's either coming into the school district or is already having children in the school district K through 12.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful.
So I think you might have already answered this, but these services are just for the Easton area school district?
They are, because we're based in the schools and because we do receive partial funding from the school district, we limit our services to Easton families. That's not to say, if a parent calls and they're from Wilson or something, that we wouldn't guide them or help them get connected with their own school district. But yes, just Easton families.
Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying that.
Mm-hmm.
And as a side note, there are other school districts that have family centers. So while we're with Easton, there's Family First up in Penargil, and Allentown and Bethlehem have family center components as well.
Yeah. Okay. So if someone who's listening isn't part of the Easton area school district, the recommendation would be to maybe just call their main office at their school, and then they would guide them to whatever organization is working with them.
Right, and see
Yeah.
what resources are available to them.
Yeah, okay, all right, great.
Mhm. So one of the things you mentioned is, I guess, in the services is that some entry points come through the school professionals themselves. Is there other ways that people access your services? Can contact you or access your services themselves? And how would they do that?
They sure can. In addition to referrals from school staff, people will kind of talk about us through word of mouth, and refer other families to us that way. Other, community organizations that know about us can refer families. We have a website where people can put in a request directly there, to us, or just reach out to us on social media.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. One of the things, obviously, since March with COVID, there's certainly a lot of changes happened then. And as Vicki's saying, going into the start of the school academic year, we're all facing questions and changes. So what services do you feel are more in need due to this external change environment that we're all living in?
It certainly was changing at a rapid pace. We didn't really know what to expect in March, because when the school shut down, of course, with us being school-based, we also, started working from home. The case management remained a large piece. We really focused on those basic needs: food, connections to resources, and connections to help families with the virtual learning, because that was new to a lot of families. So making sure they had Wi-Fi connections, making sure they understood the technology and how to get their child, connected to their virtual classroom. So we think those two will certainly remain as our two biggest needs. What we did do was we emptied out those school pantries I mentioned, put all that food into bags, which were given out to families every week as they needed them. So the family reached out, or we knew of someone in need, we could say, hey, come to the school on Friday and pick up your bag. So we still were able to get those resources out to families, even though they couldn't come into the school buildings.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned you had parent groups and things like this. How are you managing or providing those services?
We're in the process of figuring out how to do those support groups virtually. We might change our format a little bit, but we still do want to keep that support component there for families. Same with our, home visitation programs. We're going to start doing some home visits, but if that has to change when we go virtual, then we'll do those virtually, as well. So really, it's about adapting some different models to keep us covered no matter what the situation brings.
It's great that you're able to still offer those services even if you're not able to go in, person. I'm sure families are still really benefiting from that with you guys.
It's a little harder, of course, because the connection isn't the same, but yes, it's definitely something that we want to continue doing. And not drop those connections.
That's wonderful. So what are some of the volunteer opportunities if our community wants to get involved with helping out with the new school year coming up? What are some opportunities that they can volunteer to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's two different things, I think, because in a non-COVID world, people would be volunteering as tutors in our after-school program, as helpers at special events and school events that we participate in. So with the restrictions now, as far as, we can't really have visitors in the school buildings, we're looking more for people to help maybe do some food drives or supply drives for us that we can then use those materials to get out to families, and just keeping the word out about us and making sure they're checking in on their neighbors and friends and family, and making sure that, if they know of someone in need, that they can reach out to us so we can assist.
And how would people get connected as volunteers? What's the best way for them to share that they're interested?
They can, again, go through our website and put in a request that way. They can reach out to us on social media, or they can email any of us, and I can certainly provide you with my personal email address to, if anyone would like to reach out or just to learn more about the organization, they're welcome to do that.
And right now you guys are also doing the Backpack Pals. Is that what it's called? Is that different than the food drive?
It's all kind of wrapped into one. The backpack house is our food distribution program.
Okay. Okay.
In a normal school year, what we would do is give out bags of food to selected children to take home with them, but we're not going to do that this year because it's just, the logistics on that are a little too difficult, which is why we're going to, as families are in need, just make sure that parent can come by and pick up that bag, because the children aren't even in school every day. So we figured this was a more consistent model. Yes, we will still be doing that.
And Family Connection does have a wish list on Amazon. So if someone in the community wanted to donate, how could they go on to access that wish list?
They could. I have the link. If you look on our Facebook page, the link is pinned there as well. And that's a good point. And then it's one I forgot to mention is the Amazon wish list is a great way if you're wanting to pick up some food items or laundry detergent or something like that to get to us, and it gets right to us and goes right in the list of things that we have to give out to families.
Perfect.
We also do a large Stuff the Bus drive on Thanksgiving. I'm not sure what the logistics will be on that this year, but normally we would have a bus out at the Thanksgiving bonfire for Easton Peaburg and downtown in the Circle for that entire weekend, where people can drop off donations as well. So we hope to be able to do that again this year.
We can hope, right?
We hope.
Yeah.
We can probably do some kind of modified version of it.
Yeah, sure. COVID has caused us to, or encouraged us to be creative with all these things that we normally, that's the word I'm using, is creative. We have to get creative with figuring out how to still connect with each other. Before we ask you to share contact information, I know you already mentioned like website and Facebook page. Is there anything else that you would like to add, or Mark, any other questions that have come up for you that you would like to ask her?
Carolyn, you mentioned other services, and even though you're not doing them, it might just be good for the community to be aware, like you were mentioning the after-school tutoring services. So when we get back to a typical world, it just might be good for community members to know those other kind of programs that you do offer that may not be familiar with your organization.
And we still will be doing some kind of after-school program, again, just a virtual connection. We really work well with Lafayette College on that program, so we're in talks with them to see how we can connect their students with ours in some kind of tutoring, mentoring capacity. So that will still happen, as well our transition work. We can't really have large events like we typically do, but we're thinking maybe we're going to make some videos of the schools where they can meet some school staff, get a tour, and show them
Cool.
and get these kids excited about school and ready to start. So we're trying to keep all of our programs up and running in whatever capacity we can.
And so you have a partnership with Lafayette. Do you have other partnerships that work with you and assist you, like in the example that you gave at Lafayette?
We do. Lafayette College is a big partner. We also partner with Easton Cops and Kids on book distributions, the Kellen Foundation on the mobile market. Gosh, there's so many. The community school initiatives at Pax, Nosa, and Cheston in the middle school, we work closely with the community school coordinators in those buildings. And the school district, really, there's more that I can even mention. Places like the community center and the Boys and Girls Club and the neighborhood center, who we're all seeing the same families, so we try to coordinate as much as we can on a lot of programs and events.
Wonderful. And really you really represent what Vicki and I kind of envision for this program is, how do we all connect and support each other in the work that we're doing. So it sounds like being in the school kind of gives you that ability because of the central location of being in the school district, gives you that connection as a hub to all these other associations and organizations.
That's right. And that's really the purpose behind our founding and the purpose of a family center, is to be that one stop for parents to go to. So whatever it is they need, we can either provide it or connect them with someone who can. So, if there's a counseling component or a childcare component that we don't offer, we get them to that resource anyway. So that's kind of our goal, is it's in our name, right? Making those connections.
Right. Wonderful. And just liking the idea of it's a one stop. So that does make it easier. for parents and for families to not have to figure it out, navigate these systems on their own.
It's hard. It's hard to navigate systems. It's hard to, look at applications when you're trying to figure out what do I qualify for, and not even knowing maybe what they qualify for, and how do I find a medical home, and all of these things. We have 3 case managers, and they work with on average between 500 and 600 families a year.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. Oh.
Yeah, they keep them busy, but yeah, it's always something that we can offer to assist with. So it's nice that we're trusted to get those referrals and help all those families that we can.
And I'm sure the families really appreciate to have such a level of support, with being able to make all those connections, and you can go and there's someone there to help them navigate everything.
Yeah, that's our goal, and just really to be there to help advocate for parents.
That's fantastic. So let's go through contact information. So what is the website? Is it just Family Connection of Easton?
That's it. FamilyConnectionofEaston.org is our website.
Okay.
And that will outline all the programs we just talked about, and it has a page where you can connect with us directly, and it's also in English and Spanish.
Oh, great. Okay. And so so the first step, if someone isn't already connected with you, to just go on the site, will it be pretty obvious, like what they need to click on to get connected with you guys?
Yep, there's a form where they can put in their email address and their specific request, or our contact information is there with our names, emails, and phones, and they can just reach out to someone directly as well.
And what is the phone number, the main number for Family Connection?
You can call Paxinosa School, which is 610-250-2551. And one of the prompts will take you to Family Connection.
Oh, okay.
And that will connect you with our case manager there.
Okay. And you also said that you're on Facebook. Once again, it's just Family Connection of Easton.
If you put that in, you should find us. It's our short name is Family Connect PA, but either way, you should be able to find us.
Okay.
Any other social media that you're on?
We have a connection to Twitter as well. But we're primarily Facebook.
Okay.
Okay, great. Any last thoughts or anything, Carolyn, that you would like to share with our listeners today?
I would say we were really thankful and grateful and just amazed at how much the community came together when COVID did hit. We started a fund for our basic needs, and so many people just came out and donated and offered resources and help. And it was just a great thing to turn a negative into a positive and really get that feeling of, hey, everyone's here to try and help each other. So
absolutely. Honestly, I feel like that's how we're making it through, if that's the right phrase to use, but making it through this difficult time. I mean, there's so much negativity out there, but you get to choose what you focus on, and there's also so many connections and how we're able to still help each other out, even with what's going on. So that's great. I think that's nicely said. Mark, any final thoughts?
No, it sounds like you have a wonderful program that, again, is much needed, but also makes the whole process easier. And that sometimes can be the reason why somebody gets stuck, because you don't know where to start, or you get caught somewhere and you're not quite sure then what's the next step. So it's nice to have that resource so accessible to help families, and then help families, and then help, as you said earlier, children do as well as possible as they go through their academic experience.
Right. We try to level that playing field so every child has the same opportunity to see that success.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Carolyn, for being with us today. Thank you to our listeners and our viewers. Please feel free to reach out to Family Connections if you have any questions or would like to get involved or have any of their services. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone.